Good morning, students. Once again, we are here with the Geography Chapter 3 Drainage of Class 9. We have already talked about what the drainage patterns are. We also talked about what is river system, that is a major river and its tributary make the river system. We also talked about the water divide, the uplanded area between the two major rivers and its tributaries, the two streamlines. That is the between the uplanded area between the two stream. Now we will talk about the drainage patterns. The stream within a drainage basin from certain patterns depending on the slope of a land, underlying rock structure as well as the climatic condition of the areas. Means here we are talking about that the drainage means the water system, the river system, and wherever the water bodies are there, they are forming different patterns, and it depends on the type of rock over there, what type of the structure of rock is there, the land, these and as well as the climatic condition of that area affects the drainage pattern of that particular area. The different structures which are formed are the dendritic patterns, trellis, rectangular and radial patterns. The dendritic patterns develops where the river channel flow follows the slope of the terrain. Means here the slope of the terrain affects the dendritic pattern, and the stream with its tributaries resembles the branches of the tree. Thus the name dendritic means the major river and its tributaries appears like the branches of a tree. So it is being termed as a dendritic pattern. A river joined by its tributaries and approximately right angles develops a trellis pattern. A trellis drainage pattern develops where the hard and soft rock exist parallel to each other. Means wherever the hard and the soft rock appears parallel to each other, there they form the trellis pattern. The rectangular drainage pattern develops on a strongly jointed rocky terrains. Wherever the rocky terrains are there the rectangular, because obviously the erosion work will be less because of the harder surface, and they form the rectangular pattern. The radial pattern develops where the stream flows in different directions from a central peak or dome like structure. Means a central peak like structure where from there the different water bodies or the river or the drainage is being moving into the different directions, that there it appears like a radial patterns. Means they are moving into the all the directions from one peak area. Right, now we will look onto the figure about this. As in the first figure, it is a dendritic pattern. As you can see, the major river and its tributaries, they seem like that they are the tree and their branches. And the second is a rectangular drainage pattern, where you can see that the river is being cut into the rectangular form because of the hard surface. Now in the third, it is trellis drainage, where the hard and the soft rocks are moving parallel, so there they form the trellis pattern. And in the last one, here you can see that at the peak, at the central uplifted peak area, the water bodies are moving into the different direction, and it appears like a radial drainage. Now we will talk about some features made by the rivers. As we know that we divide the river, one particular river, into three major courses: the lower course, middle course and the upper course. So wherever the upper course is there, that is the actually the origin point from where the river is being origin, and at the middle course they are flowing at a high speed, and in the lower course they are now moving into the or spreaded into the land area where the less height is there, and here they are forming the different lakes also, and at the end they are forming the delta. Here the speed of the river actually decreases. It moves very slow in this lower course. So most of the lakes and deltas are being formed in the lower course of the river. So this is the all the three different areas or the courses under which the river system is working, or one particular river is working under it. Here you can see the rivers of India. In this map you can see the different river which you have already studied. You have seen the Ganga, Indus, Brahmaputra, Narmada, Tapti, Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri, Mahanadi. So these are the major rivers of India. So these major rivers of India are basically divided into two parts. The drainage system of India are mainly controlled by the broad relief features of the subcontinent. As we know that India is a subcontinent country and we have a broader physical feature. According to that, we divide the river system or rivers in India into two major parts, that is the Himalayan rivers and the peninsular river. Today we will talk about the Himalayan rivers. As we know that we have Himalayas, so the rivers which are coming from the Himalayas are termed under the Himalayan rivers. Let's see. Rippling along rough surfaces and the beautiful meadows and the numerous rivers that dot Indian mainland are central to our history as well as to the Indian mythology. The main rivers of the Himalayan groups are the Indus, the Ganga and the Brahmaputra. These rivers are both snow-fed and the rain-fed. Means these rivers are basically depend on both the thing, that is on snow also and on rainwater also. So they are being fed by the they are being fed by the snow as well as on rain. They are flowed through so many years. Himalayan river discharge about 70% of their inflow into the sea. This includes about 5% from the central Indian river, and they join the Ganga and the drain into the Bay of Bengal. Means the river Ganga it drain into the Bay of Bengal. So here you can see that the Himalayan rivers, the water which we are getting in the Himalayan rivers, we are being getting or we are being fed by the two major sources, that is from the snow as well as that is the glacier and as well as on the rainwater. So we are getting the water in these rivers through glaciers, that is snow, as well as on the from the rainwater. Here you can see the Indus river, right? So today we will talk about the river Indus. River Indus rises in Tibet near Lake Mansarovar. It flows west and enters India in the Ladakh district of Jammu and Kashmir through a picturesque gorges and the several tributaries like the Jaskar and Shyok and the Mujana join it there. It flows through the Baltistan, the Gilgit and the emerges from the mountain of Atok. Famous 5 rivers of Punjab, the Satluj, Beas, the Ravi and Chenab and Jhelum meet the Indus a little above the Mithankot in Pakistan. So the major river, that is Indus, rises from the Tibet near Mansarovar. It flows from the west and enters the India from the Ladakh district. It has several tributaries like Jaskar, Shyok and the Hizana join it there, and it flows through the Baltistan and Gilgit. Moreover, the famous 5 rivers of Punjab, the Satluj, Beas, Ravi, Chenab and Jhelum, they meet Indus a little above the Mithankot in Pakistan. So on these 5 rivers, the name of the Punjab has been origin. After this, the river Indus flows southwards and ultimately meet the Arabian Sea. So the Indus River meet in Arabian Sea, that is in the western part of the India. The total length of the river is about 2900, means the length of the river is 2900 kilometer. This length ranks it one amongst the longest river of the world. Nearly 33.3% the Indus River basin is located in India, in the states of Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh and Punjab, and the 67% is in Pakistan. Means the river's total location is only the 33.3% is in India and 67% is in Pakistan. According to the provisions of the Indus Water Treaty, which was signed in 1960, India can only use 24% of the total water carried by this river system. Means the only 20%, and this was signed between India and Pakistan. That was the treaty of Indus Water Treaty was signed in 1960, and 20% water can be used by India. This water is used for irrigation in Punjab, Haryana and the western parts of Rajasthan. So here we can see that the Indus River is very important for both the countries, because it is working for India as well as for the Pakistan, but only 20% water of Indus River can be used by India and rest is being used by Pakistan. So that was the treaty signed by India and Pakistan in 1960. So today you will learn about these points of the river Indus and learn also. Okay, I hope you understood the topic. So we are talking about the Himalayan river. The very first river which we took is the Indus River. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you and have a nice day.